Now we'll switch things over to the BD quick tips. David's found lots of features built into the platform. David's identified these three for this webinar. And if it's okay, I'll pass things over to you, David.
Yeah, so like Jason mentioned, there are so many features built into the BD platform. Every once in a while, we like to find a few often overlooked, sometimes small, but impactful features and highlight them here in the BD Quick Tips in the webinar Wednesday. So just going through them real quick here, the three that we picked for this week. The first one, manually bill members. So I believe we've covered this a handful of times, I believe most likely in some Q&A sessions, but the process to do this has gotten a lot easier, a lot faster, and a lot more intuitive actually with some of the recent admin dashboard updates. So we'll show you how that works, but manually billing members, like the name suggests, this allows you to create custom invoices. So they could be one-time invoices or recurring subscription invoices. So you can request money and start subscriptions for individual specific members. So the easier new way to do this is actually through the quick create functions that we've mentioned in the last couple webinars here. So you can go to quick create, then create invoice, and then from there, it's just 5 super simple steps. You're walked through it every step of the way. You enter in the member's name or their email address for the member that you want to create this custom invoice for. And then you choose whether it's a one-time billing invoice or if you're going to be starting a subscription. And then that's pretty much it. The benefits of this are that you can process custom payments and orders. So maybe it's a really specific instance where you're giving an individual member a discount or you're charging them for something different that you don't really need to create a membership plan for. Then in that case, maybe you just want to create a custom invoice for them. And again, it could be a one-time invoice or you could start a subscription for them. So this allows you to actually support custom pricing. You can also adjust the start dates of subscriptions. So maybe you have an individual prospect who is interested in starting a membership on your website, and you think they could be super high value. You want to give them some free time to evaluate your website and your offering. You can create a manual subscription for them and start that subscription in the future. So there's a lot of use cases for this. Another great use case is if you happen to be, for example, an international user where you don't want or you can't use one of the default integrated payment gateways, or you're in a country where most of the transactions might happen off-site through cash, something like that. You can also use a similar functionality here to mark invoices as paid. So you could either go the normal route and manually mark invoices as paid, or again, if you're manually billing members here, kind of outside of those membership plans, once you create a one-time invoice or start a subscription through this manual method, through the quick create actions, you can then just find that invoice and mark it as paid. So you can still make sure that any transactions that happen offsite are still reflected within your BD website.
Thank you, David. Yeah, this is a great tool. Before, you could only start a subscription for your members. And with this new wizard, you can start a subscription, modify it. And what I like most is you can actually request money, just like with a PayPal or something, or create an invoice for something you want to bill for one time. And of course, with all these, you can send those reminder emails to the members as well when these invoices are created, or you can just link them directly into their member dashboard where they can accept the payment themselves, or you can choose for the system to collect the payment if there's already a credit card on file. So really powerful billing tools here, especially if you have a larger enterprise or lots of members or lots of, billings and products that you're managing. This can help not only bill new members, but also help with past due and collecting fees for things that members owe you for. So good stuff there.
And the second quick tip here, view members' activity history. So you can actually view all of the activity, just about all of the activity that your members are doing on your website. So you can see a log of the activity that individual specific members are doing on your website. So by default, this history log, this activity log, goes back 30 days. So you can see 30 days worth of history. However, if you happen to have the admin activity tracking add-on or the VIP add-ons club, which includes it, then that stores unlimited history. This works just the same way as the activity tracking does for the website as a whole. It's just in this case, it's automatically filtered to only show you the activity that the specific member you're viewing has taken on your website. And to get to view this activity, it's really simple. You just go to My Members, search Members, find the specific member you're looking for, open them up, and then in the account details, you just click the activity tab and you can see a list, a timeline of all the activity that they've taken on your website. So this is, I think, probably the best use case for this is actually to kind of be able to perform a quick audit trail for an individual member, provide for faster troubleshooting. So, maybe something has gone wrong or unexpected. They've let you know about it. You can pull up their activity log, see what activity they've performed, see if maybe they accidentally changed something. They didn't realize that they saved, their listing description or whatever, and that's why it changed. So that I think is probably the best use case for this. But again, by default, this stores 30 days worth of members' activity, and then with that admin activity tracking add-on, that extends it to unlimited history. And there's some other filters in this activity log as well that you might find useful. You can filter activity by date as well as keywords. So if you want to see if they filled out a specific form, for example, you could just type in the form name. And if they filled it out, the activity log will automatically and dynamically filter out everything other than the activity that they've performed on that specific form. And then you can also select what kind of activity you want to see that they've performed on your website. So there's a checklist of types of activities. So you can see what email activity they've received or have performed on your site, activity related to leads, if any activity in the admin area from you or any other website admins has been performed for this member account, any finance related activity, form submissions. So it's a really powerful feature that I think often goes a little overlooked.
And actually, one of the most important parts about this is exactly what you mentioned here. Let me go back to this slide. Faster troubleshooting, what happened when. So even for our support team, this tool is helpful. Someone will email in, this has changed or this happened. And what's really nice is not for everything, but for most items, when there is a change, it does show like what things have changed from what to what. So like in this case, the longitude and latitude were changed from, they saved a new address basically. So you can actually revert or see who made the change. But also, as David mentioned, this isn't just for an individual member. In your dashboard section, you have the entire activity tracker for the website. This is just pre-filtered when you're on a specific members, but you can see all the admin activity here in this page, the activity tracker page, which again is great for troubleshooting issues or seeing who changed what or what happened over time. So it's super helpful. And it's also cool to see what your members are doing and what they're doing while they're working inside of their member dashboard there.
And last but not least, the final quick tip here, member tags. I think this is one of the most powerful and really kind of customizable features within the platform that has so many different use cases. It's really impossible to kind of name them all. But member tags essentially allows you to label specific individual members with custom tags so that you can organize and segment members totally outside of the member category structure or membership plans. You can tag them, you can label members with any information that you want. And then we've talked about smart lists quite a bit in previous webinars. You can then build dynamic smart lists from members that have been tagged with specific tags. And it's a really simple functionality to take advantage of. In the My Members section of your admin area, there's a smart lists and tags page. And then there is where you can manage your member tags. You can create new member tags. And then the next step would be to apply those tags to individual members. And to do that, you would just go into My Members, search members. You could perform any filters that you want, and then you can perform a bulk action. So apply labels to multiple members at once. Or you could just find one specific member and quick edit them, and then select the tags that you want to apply to that one member account. And then the next thing to do would to actually be able to utilize those member tags for targeted management. So you can then group those members that are labeled with specific labels, specific tags, into smart lists for targeted marketing, as well as management. So this really allows you to filter and search by tags to find exactly who you need. You can also bulk tag or tag on import to organize lists quickly. So kind of a great way to think about this, especially in terms of smart lists. I think a lot of people are more familiar with smart lists than member tags. And, with smart lists, you can filter all of your members to find members who joined your website within a certain date range. And then you can create a smart list of that. And that smart list will automatically, dynamically be updated. So if new members register within that date range, those new members will automatically be added to that smart list. If an additional filter for that smart list is that the member account is active, then if a specific member becomes inactive, they'll be removed from that smart list. You can add member tags to those filters to really kind of beef up your smart lists, like I mentioned, for really targeted management as well as marketing purposes.
Yeah, and just to take it a step further, there are a lot of other ways to tag members, especially creating the smart list. One of my favorite features, and you guys just saw me kind of create a custom tag and then assign two members to that tag manually. You can also, before I share the other method with you, you can also edit a specific member, and in the quick edit, you can turn on or off certain tags for that member. So here's that one I just assigned here, and you can choose other tags you want to apply that. So this is really helpful for segmentation. And what's also cool is you can assign tags with the API. So if you're doing off-site activities and sharing data on your BD site, you can add or remove tags as well. But not exactly tags, but something that I'm a big advocate of is what forms have these members submitted on our site. So under forms submitted or forms not submitted, let's say you have a landing page, you want people to register for a contest or an application of some sort. There's two ways to do it. Much with BD, there's more than one way to skin a cat, but you can search for members who have submitted a specific form. So if you've created a custom form, you can do a search on your site for members who have done that form. And let's just unremove this tag here. So let's just search for members who have filled out the blog form. It should just be the one admin blog user. But the idea is there you can search for members who have submitted a form. Now, that's more for an internal form in the member dashboard. For public forms on your site, you can also go to email forms inbox. And here also you can filter by the form. So if you want everyone who's filled out your newsletter form, for example, you can filter for that. Other things you can do is after you do that filter is create a smart list and just say, all, contest applicants. When it's a smart list, for those of you who don't know, is when something becomes a smart list, and its smart list is dynamic. That's why it's called a smart list. Anyone who falls in or out of the criteria to be part of that smart list, it's dynamic. But you can then send email newsletters to the recipients who are part of that smart list. So really, when you're sending a newsletter, you're choosing the lists or the segments who you want to email. And tagging is a static way to create segmented lists because you're manually adding them to a tag or not. And the form submitted is a great way to also identify people who have taken certain actions on your site that you would then want to to send newsletters to or send emails to with follow-ups. So good stuff there. Anything else you'd like to add about the member tags? And also, guys, ask questions if you guys have them, please.
Yeah, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head when you said that member tags are a static way to kind of categorize or label members. That actually addresses question Rich had: what happens when you give a member a tag, but then later the tag does not apply to them? Tags are static. You would manually tag or label a member with a member tag. So if that tag no longer applies, you would manually remove it. And that's kind of what differentiates member tags from smart lists. Smart lists are dynamically and automatically updated as long as members fit the criteria for that smart list. Whereas member tags are kind of just administrative tags or labels in the backend that you can apply.
That's a great way to put it. And just since we're about to switch into the Q&A, we got some follow-up questions about this. I'll just put Steve's questions here. Will you be integrating member tags with Pabbly and Zapier? Yes, they already are part of that. So when you're doing a create user or an update user action, one of the fields, Steve, that you can enter member tags is available for you. I do believe, if I'm thinking off the top of my head, the only thing that you need to do is use the tag ID, not the tag name. So you wouldn't put the explicit tag nickname or name here. You would do a comma separated list of the tag IDs. So if you're doing a Zapier workflow and you wanted to add member tag 25 to whatever user you're creating or updated, you would just put 25 into that field, or you can do a comma separated list. So you could do 25, comma 2, comma 3. And depending if you're adding or removing in that action, it will add or remove that tag ID from the user. So yeah, it already is part of them. I know for sure Zapier, if not Pabbly, we can email Pabbly, let us know, but it should be part of Pabbly as well. Thank you.